Okay, so this is my review of the Nexus 6P. I'll be honest, going into this I was biased towards the Samsung Galaxy Note 5 because of the obvious advantages it enjoys. It's a more premium handset in terms of what you pay for it, and the camera on it is second to none. Some people think that the iPhone 6s Plus or the LG G4 have cameras that are on par, but nobody really thinks anybody has a camera that's better than that. And that is true, that's the most disappointing part of the Nexus 6P. The camera is not very good, and it was hard coming to that from the Galaxy Note 5, but I adjusted after a couple of day period, and now I can get really great shots in all sorts of different environments from the camera. Took one going over the Colorado Rockies from a plane, snowy and super clear with detail. You know, motion in low light is what's going to get you, as with every camera. This does not do as well as other cameras, especially the Galaxy Note 5 and also the LG G4 and even the iPhone 6s Plus. But what did I like about the phone? Well, as you can see, the phone has a super premium build quality for being, you know, $399 or for $499 phone, and it has the latest version of Qualcomm's Snapdragon 810 processor and 3 GB of RAM. Pretty much, you know, top of the line specs, unless you compare it to something like the Note 4, the Edge Plus. Those are really the only two phones that are out there that have, you know, more under the hood than this, aside from some random, like, you know, Asus Zenfone running some Intel processor. But I digress. I did like the build quality. However, I noticed that it is easily scratchable, and so I immediately had to get a spec case, because spec covers not only the back but also the front of the phone, which these little like sides here are extremely sharp, and it's so easy for them to get scratched. I have a lot of friends that have had theirs scratched when you put the spec on it. Okay, I just rebooted my phone, which is great. We can see the loading screen. You put the spec on it, you can still reach the fingerprint scanner on the back, and this lip protects the front as well. I will say there's kind of an inexplicable little dent here in the corner. I know that's a common problem for a lot of people. I take care of my phones, I don't drop them very often, and I protect them, and that bothers me, but I obviously can't see it with the case. And it's very faint. That might be a design flaw. A lot of people say that their Nexus 6P bends easily, and I can attest to that. The other thing to notice about the back is the fingerprint scanner. So I'm used to the fingerprint scanner being here, coming from a bunch of Samsungs. I have an iPad Air 2 that also has one on the front. And at first I really hated this. But it honestly, after a 2-day period, I really love it. The only thing that I don't like is when I set it down and I do reviews, obviously I can't unlock the phone unless I have, unless I pick it up, which is bothersome. And of course, when you restart the phone, you gotta put in your password, which I will not do on camera, which is a feature of Marshmallow, which kind of brings me to my next point. But before I get there, my next point is Marshmallow. The fingerprint scanner is extremely fast. It's faster than on the Galaxy Note 5. It unlocks immediately. And it's very accurate. It's on par with anything that's out there, including from Apple. And I really like it. And the positioning is actually convenient because I do hold my phone a lot. And I added a secondary finger here, which is great. My hands are big enough to accommodate the phone. In terms of the frame, a little too much lip on the top. I don't love that. And on the bottom, but that's to accommodate the speakers. Overall, the imprint is bigger than that of the Galaxy Note 5 without having anything more to offer in terms of screen real estate. So that's a negative, but the front-facing speakers are nice. They're not that loud, but they are stereo, and that's nice. But, I mean, really, it doesn't sound that much better than what I had before, honestly. But it's nice to have. It feels good. So, yeah, let's talk about Marshmallow. So there are some advantages to having stock Android, and this guy really screams. It's really fast. I would say after a few weeks of usage, it is as fast still as the Galaxy Note 5. Without any of the weird jank that I sometimes get using the Google launcher and things like that. So as you can see, this runs the latest version of Android, and it pretty much always will until Google stops supporting it, maybe in a couple of years. That is a huge advantage for the phone. The Note 5 still has not gotten Marshmallow. I'm running the latest version of Marshmallow, which, with the latest security patch, I think Samsung's maybe 2 or 3 months behind on this, but it's fantastic that this is listed here separately. It is OS level independent, so there's one less layer you have to go through to make sure that this gets through to the most phones possible. I'll tell you that the OS just screams. It's really fast and beautiful. I got used to the double drop-down shade. I personally think this is a little useless. That I can't have, like I have to press it again. It's just an extra swipe. for me, the UI is all about how few swipes can I do amazing stuff without having it be weird and like kitschy like on Apple when you do this and it undoes your typing. That's extremely annoying because it happens inadvertently all the time to me. This is a new thing that's never happened to me before. Apparently there's an issue with the fingerprint scanner. Okay, there we go. What can I say about Marshmallow? Lots of little changes under the hood. I find the battery life on the phone to be incredible. It's better than the Note 5. The battery is bigger, but it also has a better standby mode. Even though I've loaded this up with all sorts of different apps, the battery life is really, really great. Lasts me through a day, which is crazy because I'm a super heavy user. All sorts of crazy stuff with this phone. So I'm actually, at the end of the day, sticking with the Nexus 6P and selling off my Galaxy Note 5, which was a surprise to me. And the main thing that I am still concerned about is the camera. But like I said, I can pop great pictures out of it. I guess I can show you a couple of those. Let's see how Google Photos does in the offline mode. This is of my dog. Not taken with this camera, so let's get out of here. So these are some pictures I took from a recent trip to New York. And like I said, the pictures of the Colorado Rockies, super clear from an airplane in the middle of the sky. So you can get great shots, and I'm just gonna live with it until, you know, I get the next super phone, whatever that may be, probably the Galaxy S7 just to try it out. But there is really just no downside to this phone aside from the camera. You're gonna get, because of the software integration with the hardware, the fastest phone around. It is on par, I can say, with the Note 5, even though Note 5 has an extra gig of RAM, and it has a faster processor. I mean, you can look at all the benchmarks, it's just flat out true. On a smaller chip, so it's less prone to overheating. That'll be rectified next year by Qualcomm. I expect they'll be pretty even on even footing next generation, but this generation, still, the software on this makes it scream. And the other thing that is a downside to this is the screen compared to the best that Samsung has to offer. It's not as finely tuned. It's a little darker overall, and there is some color imperfections. I mean, you can see kind of it's got a little bit of a yellowish tint, but it is something that I got used to that I also didn't think I would get used to. And really, it's a great screen. If you're watching multimedia, playing games, viewing web pages, aside from that slight yellowish tint, which if you focus on that will drive you insane, it is a beautiful screen. And it is one of the best screens out there, period. And I would argue better than most LCDs. Okay, I just changed the color balance here. So yeah, wholeheartedly recommend it. It's a steal. There's some deals going on where you can get it for under $500. That's how I snagged my rose gold version. And I recommend it to anybody. It's easy to use, and it holds up over a little bit of time. Works on any network, and is really, really great value. So there you go.